Welcome back to San Diego People. You may have heard the phrase, the top ramen diet for college students. Well, that's because adults who go to school often have to decide whether to get a good meal or pay for books and supplies. Here to talk about some of the relief programs on local college campuses are CEO of the San Diego Food Bank, Jim Floros, Amanda Schultz-Brochu from the San Diego Hunger Coalition, and UC San Diego student Christy Schlutis. Good morning.
Good morning.
Did I say that right, Christy? Schlutis. Okay. Jim, I'll start with you. I mentioned this, you know, everybody, it kind of now is like this rite of passage. You joke around about the fact that, oh, I lived on top ramen as a student. And some of that is joking because you don't get to raid your parents' pantry anymore, or you don't want to cook. But really, we're trying to shift that mentality of it's not a rite of passage. It is a serious issue for a lot of students. It's
a serious issue. You know, the starving student used to be a cute story. It's really not that cute anymore. You know, our whole mission is about lifting people out of the cycle of poverty. We think education is that vehicle, but how does somebody get a good education if they're choosing between books and food? So we've been working with UCSD going back about 10 years, but really in the last few years, we really realized it is a significant problem in our community.
So, Amanda, what are we kind of doing to create partnerships? I know CalFresh is a partner with this to really get the word out to students that you shouldn't be starving, and there are programs that are available to you if you're looking to deal with food insecurity.
Right. So I think, you know, we were incredibly surprised when we saw reports coming out that more than 40% of students at universities are struggling with food insecurity. And so one of the first things we did was bring together college campuses and the hunger relief sector to really think about how we could tackle this issue collaboratively. We know that CalFresh is one of the strongest tools that we have to at food insecurity throughout the life cycle. And so one of the things that we've been really excited to do is work with all the different college campuses, including UCSD, to embed CalFresh on campuses. So what that looks like is depends on the campus and what the student needs are, but we've really worked to kind of tailor that. There's been a lot of discussion between college campuses and the hunger relief community so that we all understand what's going on and how to best meet student needs. But we've been hosting CalFresh in a Day workshops on college campuses. We've been embedding county staff workers on college campuses to help students apply for assistance. But we also recognize that CalFresh may not be available for all students, and so that's where we've really appreciated our food bank partners stepping up and supporting campuses and bringing in food pantries on campus.
It's incredible. It's certainly come a long way in the last several years. And Christy, a proud student at UC San Diego, and you're involved with the Food Recovery Network on campus. Can you talk a little bit about why you decided to get involved in addition to all of your workload as a UCSD student?
Yeah, well, Food Recovery Network is one of many basic needs initiatives at UCSD, and I got involved straight away when I came to campus just because the mission really spoke to me, and I feel like it's something about helping the community and helping the collective, because I think when all the students at UCSD have their basic needs covered, we are all going to do better, and we're all going to kind of rise up together. And Food Recovery Network is just a really impactful and easy way to make sure someone else is getting a meal that same day, because we're taking leftover edible food, prepared food or produce, and delivering it to students or people in the community that are in need. So it's just a really nice way to connect back to the community and give back and just be part of that community on campus.
Are you surprised in talking to other students that they're dealing with some of the situations that they are, or maybe they have a hard time asking for help? I mean, have you heard some stories that really touch you? Yeah, definitely. Even just my own experience, my experience with my friends or people that I meet through this work, I was really shocked to hear the UQ's result that 42% of students in California are hungry. That is just a huge number. I mean, in any of your classes, that's almost half of the people that you're in class with. And that's just really unacceptable, I think. It makes it really hard to do your work, to study. You have to work extra jobs to meet and make those ends meet, so you're cutting out your sleep or other time for yourself. And so students, or even my friends, there's a stigma between accessing these resources, because there is this trope about being a broke college student, but it gets to a level where suddenly it's not cute anymore and you really need help, but there's a huge stigma against actually accessing those resources. So that's the second half of all of this work, is just putting the education out there that what is
is food insecurity? What does that look like for you as a student? Maybe it varies between the quarter. There might be a week where you're hit harder than others, but that is still valid and you still have those resources in that time too. So we've worked really hard to educate people that it's okay to access those and that it should be the norm that you do.
Jim, I mean, the statistics are really surprising, and often, you know, in the past we've talked about the food insecurity among children, which is heartbreaking, and seniors, and I feel like it's been a little overlooked on college campuses.
Well, I think people are surprised to learn that about 1 in 7 people in San Diego County, about 450,000 people are food insecure, about 177,000, you know, those are children. But if you really think about, especially even with the community colleges, you have somebody that maybe works during the day, but they go to community college at night to get a better degree, to get a better job, to make more money and lift their family out of poverty, but they have to choose between books and food, so it creates tremendous hardship. So that's why, you know, we have a partnership with every campus in San Diego County. We've been working with UCSD for about 10 years. We want to make sure, hey, we got your back. Here's the food you need. Go get a good education so you can become independent and reach your full potential.
So what does it look like for people who want to engage in this, especially on the college level? And I feel like there are so many students in particular who want to engage, especially for their peers, because we have this bright young generation that's up and coming that it's really a lot more active in social change.
Absolutely.
Than
Well,
we've seen.
there's a pantry on every campus in San Diego County, so that's the first stop. They can call 211. They can help enroll them in CalFresh. They can go on the San Diego Food Bank website. There are a lot of emergency feeding sites, and they don't necessarily have to go on campus to get food as well. So really, there's enough food to go around. No one should go hungry, so people just need to be able to access all those resources.
Fantastic.
I'd love to add to that too.
Yeah.
I mean, for students or the general community that's interested in getting involved in this issue, I think California has really been a leader in pushing access to resources for these students. And so an example is that there's been a variety of legislation at the state and federal level to clear pathways to access for student populations. And one of the things that we've been really involved in is helping people get engaged in those advocacy opportunities. And so community members, students can go on to sdhunger.org/take-action. They can sign up to become a hunger-free activist and receive alerts about legislation, opportunities to engage in this work. There's a great piece of legislation at the federal level right now that would make it easier for hundreds of thousands of students across California and San Diego County to more easily access CalFresh, called the EATS Act of 2019. So we would love to have individuals stand with us on making sure that it's easier for students to get a hold of these resources.
Those are great calls to action.
All available.
Yeah, thank you all so much for being here this morning and for what you're doing. Certainly appreciate it.
Great, thank you.
Still ahead on San Diego People, seniors often struggle to get enough food and nutrition, which ultimately affects their health. Coming up after the break, we're going to discuss food assistance programs offered, especially to our senior community. Stay with us.